is it to actually see one of these?
It takes a lot of work. You have to be pretty lucky.
The United States of America is a vast country with an extremely wide variety of habitats and animals. For this reason, traveling to a different state can feel like you've entered a completely different world. Out of all of the states in the Union, it's quite possible that none have the same allure as California. Once a destination for pioneers, hopeful prospectors, and dreamers, the Golden State still draws in people eager to experience the vast array of habitats, both natural and man-made, that evoke images of exploration and adventure. We were lucky enough to have the opportunity to go to California and spend the week birding with our friend and professional bird guide Rachel Clark, who wanted to show us all of the exciting bird species that California has to offer. After a cross-country flight in which we were already mesmerized by some of the beautiful views of mountains and forests from the plane, we arrived in the Fresno airport, eager to get started. We just arrived at the airport in Fresno. It's been a long day of travel, and we're here in California, ready to meet up with Rachel, who's going to be our guide for the week, and find some cool birds. There's a couple things that may be concerns. It's really hot in part of Fresno, so they said it was like 92 degrees, and we hear that the bugs are kind of bad right now, but hopefully it'll be a solid week of birding.
Yeah, on the way in, it was like a lot of agricultural fields. We went over some mountainous areas, but then like we were wondering kind of like what the agriculture was, and we saw like some signs for like vineyard stuff and olive stuff, so that was neat. And then they have kind of the Sequoia exhibit in the museum, so that's a really cool place.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun week, and I have no idea what kind of adventures we're going to have or what our first bird is going to be that we're going to see.
Probably the house sparrow.
Probably,
but you never know.
Is, but
there's hope.
First California bird could be like a yellow-billed magpie or something.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. But we'll see what we can do here. I think it's going to be a great time. We went outside and almost immediately got eyes on our first bird of California. We got our first bird, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good first bird in my opinion.
There it goes.
We found some kind of jay. I'm assuming it's a California jay. California scrub jay, I should say. This is in my opinion, that's a great first bird.
Like 5 minutes in, and lifer count is 1. Lifer. While we waited to get picked up from the airport, we also spotted a European starling and an American crow. Eventually, we made it to our Airbnb and prepared for the day ahead. We're now at the Airbnb. It's starting to get kind of late, and we're getting up super early tomorrow at like 4:30 a.m. to get on the road and have what is sure to be an epic day. Rachel was telling us about all the stuff that we can possibly get here, and it sounds like it's just wild because we don't get much of any of it on the eastern side or the midwestern side of the country. So we're looking forward to it, but it's probably getting to be bedtime pretty soon. The next day we woke up before sunrise, incredibly excited to see some life birds.
First morning here in Fresno, we're about to meet up with Rachel. Super excited for today, a lot of cool stuff on the menu, so hopefully we'll be able to pick up a lot of new species. Hearing some songs this morning, it's always a good sign. Really nice weather right now. I know it's going to get hotter later though.
Our plan for the day was to start at Kings Canyon, and then head to a spot where we could potentially find northern pygmy owls. Right away, we were taken in by the beauty of the mountains, as well as the possibility of getting our first looks ever at several different western bird species. You excited?
I'm stoked. We got a beautiful sunrise, mountains everywhere. We're heading up into the mountains.
What's the bird you're most excited for today?
Northern pygmy owls, my top one today. So Rachel was telling us they're like the size of a soda can. It sounds absolutely adorable. And I think like the place we're going to see them, it's going to be like pretty serene. So I feel like we can definitely have a cool experience with that. But it's just kind of like the excitement of being in a new place. We're like, I have no idea what we're going to see today.
Before arriving at our first destination, we stopped along the road to listen. Rachel quickly picked out and identified many different noises. While this area had plenty of birds, most of them weren't willing to show themselves.
Stop to listen a little bit. Look at this gorgeous view. Like, and this is just the start of the day too. So we're going up even higher. Lots of stuff singing and calling, so it's a good sign.
There's a California quail out there making some noise, so that's technically a lifer, heard only, but Rachel says we're going to see them at some point, so I'm excited for that because that'll be a new quail species, and there's just something special about quails and game birds when you're out birding.
Somewhere up on that hillside there's a canyon wren, presumably nesting.
but we're probably not going to see it.
We moved on to another pull-off and got some looks at two common but interesting western species, the spotted towhee and the western tanager. After seeing these two birds, we headed to our first stop in Kings Canyon, Big Stump Picnic Area. It was here that the bird activity really picked up. With Rachel leading the charge, we immediately heard many different species.
Thick-billed fox sparrow.
Rachel's a birding machine.
She is.
McGillivray's warbler.
Wow.
Oh, that's what that was?
Yeah, McGillivray's.
Definitely like a morning
Yeah.
warbler. We did eventually get very brief looks at a skulky McGillivray's warbler, which was a life bird for both of us. Shortly after, we spotted another lifer.
We're now in Kings Canyon National Park, and a lot of stuff going on. Really beautiful here. We saw our first sequoia, so that was neat, and saw the green-tailed towhees. They've been doing kind of the characteristic thing you see with like towhees and fox sparrows, where they'll kind of use their feet to kick up the brush to look for food, so that's been really neat to see.
We headed back up to the parking lot to await the arrival of our friend and California birder, Rick. While we waited, we spotted yet another lifer, a lazuli bunting sitting high up in a tree.
A lifer for you guys?
Yeah.
Woohoo, yeah!
After Rick arrived, we got to work trying to see a species we had been hearing, but hadn't seen yet, the dusky flycatcher.
We got a thick-billed fox sparrow, which is the subspecies that lives here, and it definitely has a noticeably larger bill than the ones that we have out east. And then right up there at the top of that tree is our lifer dusky flycatcher.
Way to go, Dusky.
He's just a little speck up there, but he counts.
After finding 4 new life birds at the Big Stump picnic area, we moved on to another spot not too far away that would prove to be another life bird gold mine.
We moved on to Grant Grove Village, and there's actually some snow up here, which is interesting. But hopefully we'll get some more stuff here. There's actually white-headed woodpeckers that are nesting in the siding of one of the buildings here. So hopefully that's kind of like a slam dunk bird at this location.
Walking a trail through the woods, we quickly got eyes on one of these fascinating woodpeckers.
White-headed woodpecker. Sick bird. Not sick as in like ill, but like
Ghostly pale, white, sick bird.
awesome bird. Hopefully we'll see some more.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some more looks at
Gotta
it.
credit Rick for the spot. Good location.
Hey.
Fine.
You find it, you gotta share it.
Gotta share it.
White-headed woodpecker is such a cool bird. It's probably my favorite life bird that I've gotten so far out here. And I'm hoping that it'll swing back around and we can get even more views of it because it's just such a unique type of woodpecker.
Shortly after, Rick and Rachel spotted us a few more life birds in rapid succession.
Red-breasted sapsucker somewhere in there. Hopefully it comes back out because that's one of the most beautiful sapsuckers in my opinion.
Rick coming in clutch with the hermit warbler spot. That's a cool bird. Awesome.
Rick's on it today.
I'm on fire, man. You guys are bringing the luck with you.
These woods, known as the Sunset Campground, proved to be extremely productive as we found a plethora of bird species. After accumulating a nice total and seeing some beautiful scenery, we made our way across the street to get some food and walk another trail. Here we got some quality views of white-headed woodpeckers, found a friendly brewer's blackbird, and hoped to locate a classic western jay species.
Are we gonna see Stellar's Jay?
I don't know. Rachel says we will.
Are we gonna see Stellar's Jay?
Yes, we are.
The confidence.
Totally gonna happen. I think. Fingers crossed.
Unfortunately, the Stellar's jays never made an appearance at this location. Next, we went to a part of the park that was a lot more crowded. While it wasn't necessarily birds we were here to see, we of course kept an eye and ear open. We're at General Grant Grove. We're just going to make a really quick stop to look at some of these extremely cool sequoias. They are absolutely massive, and there should be here a grove of them around us. So let's take a look at these trees, and then we're going to keep moving. We walked to one of the most amazing natural wonders in the Kings Canyon area, a massive sequoia named General Grant. Along the way, we got sidetracked by other beautiful trees.
It's one heck of a tree.
Look at how massive this sequoia tree is. That is by far the biggest tree I've ever seen.
Doesn't that kind of give you like a fake vibe? Like if you just look at the structure of it, like it looks like a big plastic tree. We heard one of the birds on our list to find, the Pacific Slope Flycatcher, which is now lumped together with the Cordilleran Flycatcher and renamed the Western Flycatcher. At the time of filming this video though, it was its own species. Additionally, we also located one of the other birds we were hoping to find, the Steller's jay. Did you just run for the Steller's jay?
Yes, I did. Leave me alone.
There's your Steller's jay.
Steller's jay. Still trying to get a good view.
I gotta get a picture of this.
After getting to see our lifer Steller's jay, we made it to General Grant.
This is the General Grant tree, known as the nation's Christmas tree. Massive sequoia. And what was neat is we actually saw a little red-breasted nuthatch on it. So it was cool to see the sequoia. It's even cooler to see the birds interacting with it as well.
After taking in the beauty of this impressive sequoia, we started making our way back. This place was actually really solid. We got 2 lifers here. We got the Pacific Slope Flycatcher, which we heard, and we'll hopefully get looks at some other time down the road while we're here, and Steller's jay, which was cool. But the sequoias are just spectacular. It's like one of those marvelous places where you just can't believe it actually exists. As we walked, we finally got eyes on not 1, but 2 Pacific Slope Flycatchers. Rick coming in clutch again.
Dude, the ears and the eyes. We nailed it.
Yeah, we got it.
A pair of them too, not even just one.
I'm so glad you guys got to see them.
Got looks at the Pacific Slope. I did not think I was going to be as excited to see that bird as I was, but it's actually a really nice looking flycatcher. I'm really pleased that we got to see that one here and check it off our list. Next, we went on a bit of a sightseeing break to check out a scenic overlook. We still found some birds here, but the highlight was definitely the incredible mountain view. I think this probably has to be one of the coolest places that we've seen so far. It's just such an amazing vista to get those mountains in the background. There's just so much space, and there's a lot of birds calling and singing from the sides of this cliffside as well.
So there's a mountain quail singing out here, but we're definitely not going to see that one, so hopefully we'll get another one down the road.
After taking in the picturesque scenery, we began our trek toward a spot where we were hoping to find northern pygmy owls. This area was fairly remote and would take some time to get to. On the way, we stopped at a gas station where we noticed a red-tailed hawk as well as another life bird. Just stopped at a Valero gas station and we ended up getting an oak titmouse, so that's a life bird at the gas station.
Oak titmice, back of the Valero, classic birding situation.
Rachel said they would be here.
Yep, that was a good call. Perfect call. Good identification. Solid bird.
Feeling great about our day so far, we left the gas station with plans to find some other birds along the roads on the way up to the owl spot. What should we expect from this quail experience?
There actually should be lots as we drive down Dunlap Road, and we'll probably see a bunch of male and female pairs scurrying across as they try to dodge traffic. Luckily, it's a relatively quiet road, so we should be able to stop and get some good looks. So you guys should get some excellent looks at your lifer California quail, and hopefully that'll be far less challenging than your lifer mountain quail. So, woohoo! Here we go. Let's get some California quail.
Yes.
And we'll also look for some American dippers while we're at it. I doubt we'll see any, but there is a chance, so we're gonna check that out.
We found many different birds from the roadside, including an extremely quick glimpse of a California quail, and a look so brief at an American dipper that we didn't even have time to get a photo or video of it.
Wow, can't believe we just had a dipper. That was insane. It was just perched up and then it flew under the bridge, so we're trying to relocate it, but that's awesome.
The dipper never did reappear, but as we climbed up in elevation, we found a few more interesting birds along the way, including lesser goldfinches, and some much better looks at a bird we saw earlier in the day. Invite to the Lazuli bunting party.
Woohoo! I think there's one singing up the hill a ways back. But yeah, this isn't a very big lazuli bunting party. A lot of times you can get up to like 4, sometimes even 5 singing males from counter singing from all different directions. But this guy is being amazingly cooperative, so this is really, really awesome.
It's really more of a party of one.
Yeah, party of one. But hey, at least he's invited us. He's being obliging. It's awesome. I'll take it.
Eventually, we made it to the pygmy owl spot as the skies were starting to darken. Feeling optimistic, we started our journey crossing over washed out roads and avoiding deep ruts carved out by water. Along our walk on the abandoned roads, we finally got some good looks at California quails.
Just got actual looks at 2 California quail. They flushed from the undergrowth, and then we actually got looks at them as they sat on the log, which is cool. And there have been a lot of birds in here so far. Not many have been cooperative, but we're going to keep trying to get looks at the ones we're hearing and hopefully pick out that pygmy owl.
Unfortunately, the northern pygmy owls never made an appearance. However, we were lucky enough to see a bird we had heard throughout the day.
Mountain quail is awesome. Love that color on the throat. It sat on that log for a long time and now it just flew down and it is calling again. So, what a great bird. Yeah. Who knew that California forests are just filled with quail?
Mountain quail.
Awesome. That's a killer one.
That's definitely the favorite bird that I've seen so far. How rare is it to actually see one of these?
It takes a lot of work. You have to be pretty lucky. 9 times out of 10, they're herd only. So this is amazing, not only because you guys are getting a visual of it, but also because it's sitting there, it's being cooperative, and it's, you're actually able to get a decent visual of it before it just, scurries off down a log or up or down a hill. So this is amazing.
Seeing the mountain quail in such a secluded place made the whole hike totally worth it. We walked out of the forest feeling great about the day, but it wasn't quite over yet.
Crazy mountain quail experience. Bobcat came across the road, flushed a mountain quail up. It's just sitting there right for us. Second epic mountain quail view.
Probably like the best mountain quail views anyone's got.
Ever.
We ended our first full day in California with 62 species and 14 life birds. It was a wild and fun day, filled with awesome experiences. As it would turn out, pretty much every day in California would also be extremely eventful. Keep an eye out for those videos in the future. Also, it's worth noting that we wouldn't have had nearly as much success if not for Rachel and Rick, who knew all of the best spots along with how to identify every bird around. If you'd like to book a tour with Rachel, check out her website by using the link in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.